live from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, this is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. The presidential envoy Adut Salva Kiir has praised women as the backbone of society, saying their role during the liberation era led to South Sudan's independence. The governor of Lake State says that the only way to safeguard the future of young girls in South Sudan is to criminalize early and forced marriage. And the commissioner of Balliet County in Upper Nile State says one person was killed in an ambush by unidentified gunmen on Saturday. These stories and more coming to you in this news bulletin with me, Diko Andrew, and now the news in details. The presidential envoy, Adut Salva Kiir, has praised women as the backbone of society, saying their role during the liberation era led South Sudan to independence. Adut speaks on Saturday during the Thanksgiving ceremony organized by Bahra Ghazal Women League in Juba under the theme Women and Leadership. She said South Sudanese women bore the burden of the liberation struggle and endured to support the fight for freedom. The senior presidential envoy for special program added that even with limited empowerment, women continue to play an active role in the nation building and peace effort after the civil war, and she happened to be saying this.
Before I begin, I would like to say that I know that the theme today has been women in leadership, it has been women in society, but I want to make it specific and speak about women in South Sudan. Through the beginning of time, you've seen women holding their families together, being the backbone of society, supporting their husbands, their fathers, their brothers, and holding down the home where we all go to rest our heads at the end of the day. And South Sudanese women in particular, especially the ones that have been engaged in the front line in the revolution, your resilience is unmatched. I've never seen African women that are this resilient. You have gone through so much, you have endured things you shouldn't have to endure, and yet again, you have stood tall and opened the doors for us to be able to stand here today and say thank you.
Adut also acknowledged what she calls the advocacy role of women, saying they are quicker to find real solutions.
Coming here today, I would like to talk about peace and how women in South Sudan have been involved in peace building and reconciliation. You have seen a lot of our women in leadership advocating and being activists in the field of peace and reconciliation. It's the women that can sit down and talk things out. It's women that are emotional and like to actually talk about their feelings and how things affect them. It's women that are also quick to find solutions. It's women that are mothers, and as mothers, you possess the most powerful tool, which is producing a human being.
The Thanksgiving ceremony was organized, honored her appointment as the first women senior presidential envoy for special programs. The governor of Lake State says the only way to safeguard the future of young girls in South Sudan is to criminalize early and forced marriage. Lieutenant General Rinya Teny Amabior say he inducted the Lake State Customary Law and Public Order Act 2022, which makes early and forced marriage a crime to protect girls in the state. Governor Rin made the remarks on Saturday at Radisson Blu during the Thanksgiving celebration for the appointment of Adut Salva Kiir as the presidential envoy on special programs.
Forced marriage, early marriage, them are more babaten bil qanun. So we want to protect our women, our girls, our children, because we don't want dunya mafi.
The Lake State Customary Law and Public Order Act 2022 was launched in early 2023 by Governor Ring. The launch was attended by members of the State Transitional Legislative Assembly, civil society, women, youth, and Miss Human Rights, representative, chiefs, and government officials, as well as members of the organized forces and the law enforcement agencies in the state. Elsewhere, the commissioner of Balliet County in Upper Nile State says one person was killed in an ambush by unidentified gunmen yesterday. Joseph Deng says the attackers targeted a group of military recruits who were collecting firewoods. He says the gunmen killed one recruit. One took his reveal. According to Deng, the recruiters trains at the Galuaj Training Center, where the SSPDF is recruiting new soldiers. He says the attackers were seen fleeing towards Wulang County, and he is in contact with the Wulang County Commissioner to help identify them. Deng spoke to iRadio this morning and happened to be saying this.
Be very close to your father.
A civil society activist is urging young people to avoid joining a gang, warning that involvement could put their future at risk. Edmund Yakani, the executive director of Community Empowerment for Progress organization, said the growing gang group in some parts of the country, including Juba, should be addressed by both government and the community. He urges young people to spend their time to constructive activities instead of getting involved in gangism. Yakani also called on both national and state government to invest in recreational activities that engage and occupy young people. He spoke to iRadio this morning and happened to be saying this.
Amplify my voice loudly to the attention of youth or young South Sudanese across the country and outside the country over the culture of growing youth gang violence culture. This culture is a criminal culture. It is an accepted culture. It is not values of our culture and traditions. We have seen of lately that young people and youth are effectively engaged in youth gang groups violence, which these youth can name themselves Toronto's niggers. All this naming are criminal naming and namings that are very dangerous. And now we have seen of lately, we lost life of our own South Sudanese medical student in his 4th year in Egypt. And lately we lost a young, brilliant person's life in Wow. Abstain from engaging in youth gang culture.
And lastly, a court in Wow, Western Bahar Ghazal State has sentenced 5 gang members to 5 months in prison, each for violent attack that killed 1 person and injured 2 others last week. The convicts are also ordered to pay a fine of 350,000 South Sudanese pound each. Another suspect, described as the primary suspect in the killing of the 22-year-old Muhammad Adam, remain in custody as the police continue with the investigation. According to Major Santino Mayen, the state's police spokesperson, Major Mayen told iRadio on Saturday that the suspects were arrested after they attacked a birthday party, leading to the death of Adam and injured of 19-year-old Musa Sabir and 17-year-old Madeleine last Thursday. He said 5 of the 6 suspects appeared before court on Saturday and were convicted under Section 48, 79 and 312 of the South Sudan Penal Code Act 28. Major Mayen spoke to iRadio from Wow and happened to be saying this.
The suspects were presented before the court and were convicted under Sections 48, 79 and 312 of the South Sudan Penal Code Act 2008. Court ruling, each of the 6 suspects was sentenced to 6 months imprisonment. In addition, each was fined SSV 350,000. Failure to pay the fine will result in additional 6 months imprisonment. Meanwhile, 1 suspect accused of murder remains under police custody pending further investigation and trial. Police assure the public that law enforcement agencies remain committed to maintaining peace and order in Wow and ensuring that justice is served.
You're still listening to iRadio News, and now to the international news with my colleague Mapal, brought to you by Prestige Millers Limited Company.
Good afternoon. A man running a sex ring operating out of Dubai's most glamorous neighborhoods and exploiting vulnerable women has been identified by a BBC investigation. Charles Maswigwa, who says he's a former London bus driver, told our Uncover reporter he could provide women for sex party at a starting price of $1,000, 740 euro, adding that money can do pretty much everything clients want them to. Rumors of wild sex parties in the United Arab Emirates have circulated for years, the most excessive of sexual requests. Elsewhere, the 77th Primetime Emmys Awards generated another slate of viral moments, from cash awards for short speeches to history-making wins and heartfelt thank yous. This year's big winners of the night were HBO's medical drama, The Pit, Apple TV's Hollywood satire, the studio and Netflix chilling psychological miniseries Adolescence. Trammell Tillman made history as the first black man ever to win an Emmy for supporting actor in a drama series. And finally, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is meeting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem, with the aftermath of Israel's strike in Qatar expected to be high on the agenda. Last week's strike, which targeted senior Hamas leaders on the close U.S. allies' territory, drew international outrage and was criticized by President Donald Trump. The meeting comes as Arab leaders hold a summit in a show of support for Qatar. Its Prime Minister urged the international community to stop applying double standards and push Israel. And that is the end of regional and international news with me, Walma Pal, brought to you by Prestige Millers Company Limited.
Thank you so much, Walma Pal. Up next, a news of sport with Darlington Moses.
Good afternoon, Diko Andrew, and now to the world of sport. El Merreikh Bantu defeated Yale Lion Hunters 10-1 in the opening match of the 2025-2026 South Sudan Premier League season at Juba National Stadium yesterday. Speaking at the event, the president of the South Sudan Football Association reaffirmed the federation's commitment to overcoming the challenges that teams faced during the inaugural season. The match was also graced by the presence of Minister of Sport Mary Martin Nawai. Today's fixtures continue with Holy Family FC facing Bentiu City at 1 p.m. followed by Rang Olympic against Gurambor at 4 p.m. Still in local sport, the South Sudan Football Federation Central referees today gathered at Juba National Stadium for a crucial FIFA fitness test, demonstrating their commitment to maintaining high standards in officiating. Under the expert guidance of FIFA, the referee's technical instructor Bento Thomas engaged in rigorous assessment designed to evaluate their physical capabilities. Erling Haaland scored twice after Phil Foden opened the scoring as Manchester City returned to winning ways in the Premier League by beating floundering rivals Manchester United at Etihad Stadium. And Barcelona thrashed Valencia with Marcus Rashford involved in a La Liga goal for the first time. Fermin Lopez, Rafinha and Robert Lewandowski scored 2 goals each for the Spanish champions. 2 new global 100-meter champions were crowned as America's Melissa Jefferson Wooden and Jamaica's Oblique Saville claimed stunning breakthrough victories at the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. Jefferson Wooden, 24, sealed gold in the women's final in emphatic fashions, proving a class above her rivals in a championships record 10.61 seconds. Less than 10 minutes later, inside Japan's electric National Stadium, Saville, also 24, ripped his vest in celebrations after becoming the first Jamaican man to win a global 100-meter title since athletes icon Usain Bolt, who was watching right in the stadiums. Winning in a personal best time of 9.77, Saville led a Jamaican 1-2 ahead of Kassain Thompson as American defending champion Noah Lyles was forced to settle for bronze. This is all in the world of sport, and back to you, Diko Andrew.
Thank you so much, Darlington Moses. With that being, we came to an end with our news. But first, here are the headlines. The presidential envoy, Adjuta Salva Kiir, has praised women as the backbone of society, saying their role during the liberation era led to South Sudan's independence. The governor of Lake State says the only way to safeguard the future of young girls in South Sudan is to criminalize early and forced marriage. And the commissioner of Ballet County in Upper Nile State says one person was killed in an ambush by unidentified gunman on Saturday. That's the end of iReady News. If there's any story or event you would like iReady to cover or report about, please send us a text message on a +211 925 287 870. It's also our WhatsApp line. Follow us on X at iReady Juba. like our Facebook page, iRadio, or subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for news in Arabic at 1:30. I'm Diko Andrew. Thank you for listening.
Sounds of the Week on iRadio.